EPA yanks scientists' conference presentations, including on climate change. The Environmental Protection Agency has instructed 2 of its scientists and 1 contractor not to speak as planned at a scientific conference Monday in Providence, Rhode Island, sparking criticism from some academics and congressional Democrats. EPA officials confirmed Sunday that its researchers would not present at the State of Narragansett Bay and its watershed program, but did not offer an explanation for the decision. EPA scientists are attending. They simply are not presenting. It is not an EPA conference, EPA spokesman John Conkus said in an email. The New York Times first reported the cancellations. The conference marks the culmination of a 3-year report on the status of Narragansett Bay, New England's largest estuary, and the challenges it faces. Climate change features as a significant factor in the 500-page report, which evaluates 24 aspects of the bay and its larger watershed. The organizers intend to present a 28-page summary report of the findings in a news conference Monday. Narragansett Bay is one of Rhode Island's most important economic assets, and the EPA won't let its scientists talk with local leaders to plan for its future. Whatever you think about climate change, this kind of collaboration should be a no-brainer, Sen. Sheldon Whitehouse, DRI, said in a statement. Muzzling our leading scientists benefits no one. Whitehouse is scheduled to speak at the event. For roughly 6 years, the EPA has provided about $600,000 annually for each of more than 24 national estuaries, including the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program, the conference's host. The program's director, Tom Borden, said the head of the EPA's National Health and Environmental Effects Research Laboratory Atlantic Ecology Division in Narragansett informed him Friday that the keynote speaker, division research ecologist Art Mochkovsky, and another colleague in the lab, Rose Martin, would not be able to make presentations at the event. I was not given a clear reason why, Borden said in an interview, adding that his team had worked closely with several of the agency's scientists on protecting and restoring the bay. It's a terrific partnership to have EPA working with us. An EPA contractor who had contributed to 2 chapters of the report, Emily Shumchenia, was also told not to speak at the event. She and Martin were slated to take part in a panel titled The Present and Future Biological Implications of Climate Change. Borden said the organizers invited Ochkovsky and Martin because they were independent scientists who could offer valuable perspectives. At least 1 senior regional EPA official is expected to attend the conference Monday. It is unclear whether the researchers previously scheduled to speak will go. The HQD report, which was subject to extensive peer review and public comment, charts how Narragansett Bay is becoming cleaner but also faces challenges such as nutrient runoff and climate change. The issue of the EPA's approach to climate change science has become even more fraught since Donald Trump became president, as Administrator Scott Pruitt has questioned whether human activity ranks as a main driver of the warming the globe has experienced in recent decades. Political appointees have removed pages from the agency's website that address the issue and have cancelled some grants supporting climate change initiatives. Robinson Fulwiler, a Boston University ecosystems ecologist who has studied the effects of climate change on marine life, called the situation an abuse of power by the Trump administration. The silencing of government scientists is a scary step toward silencing anyone who disagrees, she said in an email. The choice by our government leaders to ignore the abundant and overwhelming data regarding climate change does not stop it from being true or prevent the negative consequences that are already occurring and those that are on the horizon. NFL notes, Rams Gurley says London games tough for players. Todd Gurley isn't buying this NFL in London business. The Los Angeles Rams running back arrived with the team in London on Friday after an overnight flight from Florida, where they spent the week following the win over Jacksonville last Sunday. Gurley said that's simply too much travel to take on the Arizona Cardinals, a division rival from a neighboring state. It just doesn't make sense, Gurley told reporters after the team's practice session at the luxury resort outside London. We play Arizona, it's a 45-minute flight, but instead we've got Arizona and us here. If we were to travel all the way from LA, it's 13 hours to travel, when you can just travel 45 minutes. But hey, whatever floats the boat. That would be the boat of NFL bosses, who are using these games to grow the game's brand in the UK and beyond. This is the 10th year that the league has staged its international series in the British capital, which has grown from 1 game a year in 2007 to 4 games this season. The Rams also came over last year and, like most teams who have played in London, have have largely stuck to the script about it being a positive experience. Gurley, though, was even more outspoken Thursday before getting on the plane, saying the overseas games need to stop. In contrast, quarterback Jared Goff was among those insisting he was happy to be in London. But he was bemused to hear that the outspoken Gurley was not. Did he say that? Great, Goff said with a smile when told of the running back's comments. He also pointed out that it was actually Arizona who had cause for complaints, as they're the ones missing out on the 45-minute flight. It's our home game, so we have to play out here, he said. For the Cardinals to have to come out here is maybe a little bit rough for them. Definitely, because I believe that would probably be their shortest road trip. But it's part of expanding the league and I'm all for it. But I can understand why it can be a little bit rough for them. Head coach Sean McVay, who came here last year with the Washington Redskins, also did his best to talk down Gurley's comments. I think what Todd was talking about was some of the challenges just from a semantic standpoint of getting out of your rhythm and your routine just traveling, McVay said. But the fans have been great, he'll be the first to tell you that. It does offer a great opportunity to compete in a different place. Unlike the Rams, the Cardinals have spent most of the week in London in order to get adjusted to the time difference and climate ahead of Sunday's game at Twickenham, the home of England's national rugby team. Britt Coleman missed curfew. Person familiar with the situation says Cleveland Browns wide receivers Kenny Britt and Corey Coleman were sent home last week from Houston after missing a team curfew. Britt and Coleman were fined and apologized to the team, said the person who spoke to the Associated Press. Britt has been a major disappointment in his first season with the Browns, who signed him to a 4-year, $32.5 million contract in March. He has 8 catches for 121 yards in 4 games and has been plagued by dropped passes. Jags promote W.R. Mickens. Jacksonville promoted receiver Jaden Mickens to the active roster and waived receiver Max McCaffrey.